Whipping Wing by Farron. Chapter 10. Light and Shadow. The submachine gun wasn't far away now. Hans Jägermeister took another step forward. He stumbled over an invisible obstacle on the invisible empty floor, but kept going. Tripping again, he hit the floor face first, but one groping hand snatched out the blood-flecked firearm. The Nazi hugged it to his chest triumphantly, with the chaos of screams and blood fire all around him. Surging to his feet, Jägermeister raised the gun and screamed his defiance against the unseen horrors the daring do had unleashed upon his unsuspecting men. For a moment, he considered it simply emptying the magazine in the Pegasus' direction, but a quick death was too good for her. He was going to get that damnable creature back and drag her into Germany just as he planned. He was going to watch, enjoying every minute as some of the Reich's best scientists vivisected the accursed mare. Somebody did read the evil overlord list! Well, the most important thing was obviously to recapture Daring Do and retrieve the Medallion of Light. First, Hans had to clear a path through who knew what invisible monstrosities. That was easy enough. Shouting with articulate rage, the German pulled the trigger and began spraying bullets this way and that. A few stray rounds tore through the mercenaries and German soldiers, too slow or too distracted by their unseen foes to dive for cover. But this was all right. They were as good as dead anyway. Silvertrow chuckled as the Tiger and Panther, two of Ahuizotl's valiant enforcers, turned to pursue Indiana Jones. The human didn't stand a chance, and they knew it. The other called wondering if he should shout a warning to Indiana Jones to make it more sporting and more entertaining, but decided against it. Roars of feral joy erupted from the throats of the big cats. No, this wasn't joy. That was pain. The felines jerked as if shaken by unseen creatures, and collapsed, blood streaming from the unclear circular wounds all along their bodies. Silvertrow started forward, but stopped just as abruptly when something hot tugged at his ear. After a moment, the pain hit him. He reached up one hesitant hoof and felt the ruin of his right ear. It was as though an invisible crossbow bolt torn away the top third of the delicate appendage. When the unicorn looked at his hoof, it was painted red with his own blood. Whatever mortally wounded the unicorn's allies had nearly done the same to him. Yellow eyes stared pleadingly at Silvertrow as the panther tried to drag itself out of danger. It yowled and reached out a paw, but Trow stepped out of the way. He took another step back. The panther stopped moving and lay still, too weak for the blood loss even to hold up its head. It was obvious that both felines would soon be dead. Making his decision, the unicorn turned and raced out of the temple's entryway. He held up the supposedly lost stone walking amulet and started to fasten it around his neck. If unseen enemies barred the front door, he had other options. The submachine gun clicked and fell silent as his magazine ran dry. Hans Jägermeister nodded in satisfaction and scooped up another from the carnage that surrounded him. Loading it into his weapon, he rushed forward with a snarl. "I have come for you now, Daring Do!" Flying slowly along the passageway, Daring winced. Her recent crash and hours of tight restraining ropes had not done her wings any favors. She wasn't going to be winning races at the Clouds Coliseum with speeds like this. She landed gingerly to take a short break, carefully avoiding touching any of the pressure plates half glimpsed by her dimension-spanning vision. The Pegasus turned to check for pursuit, and cringed as he found herself staring down the barrel of an oncoming gun. "Stay still, Daring Do, or I will shoot you down!" shouted Jägermeister. Despite the intricate dancing he was doing to avoid traps marked in with the blood of his soldiers and mercenaries, the Nazi-stationed submachine gun never wavered from his target. At the cramped confines of the long hallway, Daring knew there were no chances of dodging. "Stay back, Hans!" Daring shouted to the crazy man. "Just let me go!" Jägermeister was at the ends of the corpse-strewn section of the passage. From now on, it was clear sailing to the mare and her stolen medallion. He watched carefully forward, eyeing the Pegasus and her surroundings suspiciously. The area seemed free of traps when he had come here before, but the accursed creature had somehow activated cleverly hidden defenses that was invisible as the monsters that were attacking his men in the entryway. The Nazi agent aimed his weapon carefully and snarled. "Come here, Fräulein. I am tired of chasing you now. Fly or run, I will simply bring back your corpse to the lake on ice. What? Afraid of the booby traps? Suit me, and you'll have to come over here to get the medallion anyway. Darrington retorted. She weighed her chances on attacking now that the human was close enough to catch off guard, even with her lowered speed. She could get there, but she'd probably be heavier by several dozen bullets and lighter by a lot of blood by the time she did. Then the Pegasus' eye fell on a certain spot on the floor, wavering indistinctly in the Temple of Shadow, superimposed on the Temple of Light. Oh yes, she remembered that trap. Hans glared, but knew that Darrington was right. He took a cautious step forward, watching the Pegasus' eyes for sign that he was walking into her trap. He lifted his leg and brought it forward, settling down slowly. The creature's pink eyes widened slightly, and then his eyes reacted by shifting the foot quickly to the left. Her eyes narrowed again, and he chuckled and took another step forward. Darrington held her breath as the human moved even closer, his foot narrowly missing a trigger for several blow-dart traps. He was only a few paces away. It was now or never. Darrington looked the human straight in the eye. Hans, stop now! Last warning! That's Ronine. Don't make me laugh. Jägermeister took another step forward, long stride, taking him over the pet trap he couldn't see. Perhaps when our scientists are done with you, they will let me take over. I think I will start with your wings, or perhaps your tongue. Flipping her pith helmet off her head, Darrington gripped it between her teeth and lobbed it like a discus, landed right in front of Jägermeister. Hans laughed. And what was that supposed to do? The Pegasus heard the distant click of a pressure plate in the Temple of Shadow. A long, thin blade plunged down from the ceiling. Its transparent edge dropped it through Jägermeister without so much as a whisper, sliding through his shoulder and down and through his chest with only the slightest change in lethal velocity. It erupted from the German's pant leg, jamming down to the floor with crimson lifeblood sliding down its leg. Crimson! Sorry. That still gets me. Hans took effort as he tried to take another step forward. Something was wrong. He had the most intense pain in his shoulder. He's crying too. What was happening? He opened his mouth to speak and made an inarticulate choking sounds as blood dribbled down his mouth. Darrington could feel something hot and wet on her face. She reached up with a huff and wiped at the liquid, leaving rust-colored streaks on her golden pelt. She started and took a step back from the transfixed Nazi. He was finished, but the twisting man didn't realize yet that he was dead. It was still dangerous for her to avoid her eyes from the crimson sight. Jägermeister gurgled at the glaring Pegasus. It was so dark. Why was it getting so dark? The German raised his submachine gun to threaten Darrington again, but his arm moved with agonizing slowness. The weapon clattered to the stone floor as it dropped from the fingers, devoid of strength and slick with blood. Finally, there was a tight, quiet click. The long, red-stained blade slid rapidly back into the ceiling. Hans found himself pitching forward, crumbling to the floor like a marionette whose strings had been cut. Darrington stared down at him, her muzzle flecked with blood. His blood. Jägermeister reached out with one hand to grab for the Pegasus, but everything was growing so dark. The last thing the German saw was a long, charcoal-colored tail, as his victorious adversary turned and hurried down the hall deeper into the temple. Darrington shuddered as he heard the wet sounds of her foe's body settling to the floor behind her, but she didn't turn back. Groaning, the Pegasus already stained with fight muscles into action, hurried up the hallway. She was far behind Indiana Jones now, but at least she knew where she was going. It shouldn't take too long to catch up, hopefully. Indiana Jones stared at the inner sanctum and felt his stomach lurch. Starfire had mentioned a conjunction between Indiana's spirit realm and Pegasus' world. If it sounded more like the liturgy of insanity for the one who would come up with attack our god to prove that we're worthy. But what seemed like a simple cultist's mumbo-jumbo in the entryway was fully realized here in the innermost chamber of the temple. Instead of one world transparent and superimposed the other, the two seemed to shift together. The morning light streaming in through the skylight of the Temple of Light fell into the claustrophobic subterranean chamber at the Temple of Shadow. The thick, almost stalactite-looking pillars of the Temple of Shadow seemed to be supporting the high dome of the Temple of Light. At the center of it all was a simple pedestal on a dais, an island of stability in a world of swirling chains, and on the pedestal rested the dark half of the disk of the Medallion of Shadow. The artifact seemed to almost glow in the strange, shifting light of the two temples. On the far side of the pedestal hung Flint, tied to a large board as though about to be tortured. Indiana hurried forward. Flint! The blood-furred canine looked up. His stubby tail started to wag immediately, and the ropes creaked as he strained against them. Indiana! Indiana, come for Flint!
Come on, let's get you out of here.
Indiana said. He started working on the Diamond Dog's restraints.
Silver Trowel told me the Colts just grabbed you. You okay, Mutt?
Silver Trowel? Indiana! Trowel here? Trowel bad! Working for Allie! The bad ape dog thing! Flint flailed, waving his arms worriedly as he tried to put his concerns into words.
Ahuizotl?
Indy asked, trying to saw through the sturdy ropes with his knife. He should have guessed. As hard it was to conceive of the ridiculous pony creatures being as devious as the archaeologist's usual foes. Yes! Trowel bad! Trowel! The Diamond Dog trailed off, his head cocked slightly and ears perked. Indiana, hear something? Still working on the ropes, Indiana grunted in satisfaction as he finished freeing one of the Diamond Dog's paws. Working on another limb, he asked,
Hear what?
Like hoof steps, Flint replied, looking around. Suddenly he gaped, Indiana, look out! Indiana Jones grunted and dropped to the floor, dazed as a high-velocity stone bounced off his head. He pushed himself back to his feet, turning to see who had thrown the rock and glare.
Silver Trowel! So you didn't lose that necklace going over the falls.
The centerpiece of Silver Trowel's stone-walking amulet ceased to glow as he finished seeping through the wall. The unicorn's horn flared still brighter, and suddenly Indiana Jones found himself lifted into the air. Trowel nodded. You're right, Dr. Jones. I know I said I had, but I've said a lot of things. I said I was simply an archaeologist passing through the ridgebacks when I had really been sent here to retrieve the Medallion of Shadow for Ahuizotl. Silver Trowel paused for a moment, trying forward to the dais in the center of the room. The Medallion of Shadow seemed to drink in even the light of Trowel's magic as he lifted it up and examined it with a slight smile before tucking it into one of his saddlebags. Looking back at Indiana Jones, the unicorn continued his mocking litany. I suggested that Flint or Starfire might have been through your things when I was the one who stolen the artifact with my ever so useful stonewalking acumen. I said that Flint had found the Medallion of Shadow, only to be nabbed by the cultists, while not saying that one of my colleagues was the one he took it from. Shall I go on? Trowel, bad pony! Trowel, very bad pony! Flint barked, struggling against his remaining restraints, until the unicorn stallion enveloped the dog in a sparkling magic field, and slammed the creature's lids back into the immobility on the board. Dr. Jones, quiet your cur, please. When kissed the Silver Trowel, Flint simply growled. Trowel turned to Indiana and smiled, levitating the pistol free of its holster, bringing it across the room. He turned to the revolver, examining it merrily. I'll just say this, thank you. These are quite rare in Equestria, you know. Not exactly worth what the Medallion of Shadow would be, but it's certainly a nice bonus. Silver Trowel, get that back! Shrilled Flint, struggling against his magical and physical bonds. Trowel ignored him. Indy glared at the unicorn from behind a shimmering cloud that was holding him aloft.
Why are you working for Ahuizotl, Trowel?
I hardly think that's important, Dr. Jones, said Silver Trowel, wearing a dismissive puff. You're an archaeologist too. Surely you understand the need to secure physical artifacts.
So, you aren't going to give it to Ahuizotl?
Indiana scoffed. He peered down at the doorway helpfully. Darrington should have been here by now. Where was he? No, I'm not going to send it to him, obviously. But first, I have to tie up a few loose ends. My reputation is already bad enough in archaeological circles without some pony telling tales. Now, let's see. Silver Trowel's eyes narrowed in concentration. The revolver turned to point at Indiana Jones. Despite being across the room, the muzzle looked as huge as Indiana stared into it. No! Bad pony! No her, Indiana! Yelled Flint. You know, there's always some pony around to ruin the moment. Silver Trowel sighed. The pistol pointed, turned to aim at Flint. Damn boy. The revolver fired. Flint's angry snarls turned into pain whimpering as blood faucet from his shoulder. Nodding in satisfaction, Silver Trowel turned back to Indy. The pistol followed. Please don't like to beat. Well, no, I know. Now, where was I? Indiana took a deep breath as the hammer drew back. The idea that he was in his days at the wrong end of his own weapon had occurred to the archaeologist before. But it seemed almost funny that the enemy pulling the trigger was a small green unicorn.
Just do it, Trowel. I don't have all day.
Silver Trowel pulled the trigger. The hammer came down and hard. It clicked on an empty chamber. The confused unicorn pulled the trigger again. Still nothing happened. Scowling, the pony shoved the empty pistol roughly into his saddlebags. Horn still glowing, he took a deep breath, and a rumbling sound filled the air. Don't think you've gotten away so easily, Dr. Jones. You simply traded a quick death for a slow one. Daring to grin as he caught sight of the doorway leading to the inner sanctuary of the Temple of Light. Ignoring the complaints of the must-abused fight muscles, as he sped up and pulled up short with a yelp of surprise as the open doorway suddenly disappeared on a massive pile of stone and earth. No, 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 not now! Gary snarled, glaring at the newly blocked hallway. So he looked around urgently, trying to find a place where the rubble left an opening he could crawl through. There was none. Then he saw a panel sliding open in the wall, and an indistinct, shadowy head poking cautiously out of the hallway. Sprocket! Junior Engineer at the local 405 Death Trap and Ancient Ruin Defense Maintenance Unit winced as the walls of his maintenance tunnel shook again. Somebody out there was really making his life difficult. First, it seemed like all the traps in the Temple of Shadow were being set off in sequence, despite no pony actually falling into any of them. Now they were practically breaking down the roof. Why couldn't any pony just leave well enough alone and let a trap maintenance pony do his fucking job? The unicorn's tool bag clinked as he set it down, cautiously opened the secret door. Unknown to him, a silver door opened in the Temple of Light, next to a distraught Pegasus Avenger. He coughed, waving away the billowing dust, and squinted at the half-light of the hallway.
Oh, for Celestia's sake!
Some fool had somehow managed to tear down an entire section of the passage, blocking the route with the temple's inner sanctum. The trap maintenance pony sighed and crawled out into the hallway.
Will you just look at this? This is going to take a week to clean up. You can bet your flight that I'm going to bring this up at the next local 405 5th meeting. I mean, whoa!
The spectral figure of the pony spun and fell as Daring rushed past him to enter the dusty and disused passageway he revealed. Gradually, the tunnel seemed to exist both in the Temple of Light and Temple of Shadow. Blaming a hoof in front of her face to knock down the thick cobwebs, Pegasus began to crawl forward through the maintenance ducts. As he forward in the tunnel, the adventurer made a mental note. If she ever got back home, she and that pony were going to have words. Indiana Jones winced as the last few stones fell, and shimmering light into the unicorn magic, wane and gunnery illuminations of a few spare torches. Silver Trowel examined his handiwork and nodded happily. There we are. Just think, Dr. Jones. In a few years I could come back here and find an amazing relic, the remains of a previous unheard species, attuned here with his diamond dog companion. Perhaps it might even rehabilitate my reputation with the Equestrian Society of Archaeology. Or at least, net me a few dozen bits for your bones as some curio collector. Oh God, he's villainous monologuing!
We'll see.
Indiana growled, his eyes shooting daggers at the unicorn. Muscles burned as he struggled uselessly against his arcane restraints. Well, Dr. Jones, I must say it's been a pleasure working with you, but I really must be going. The medallion isn't going to deliver itself. Smiling with infuriating smugness, Silver Trowel turned to go. When he neared the rough-hewn wall through he wished he had come, the gray stone around his neck began to glow. His laughter cut off. Muffled by the rock wall, he stepped slowly into it, easily, as if it had been water. The moment Silver Trowel's head dipped into the rock, the shivering magical field around Indiana and Flint winked out. The archaeologist exploded into motion, rushing across the room with his bullwhip already in hand. The whip lashed out, and ripped around the departing unicorn's back leg, pulling taut. Silver Trowel gasped as a line of pain encircled his hind left leg. Wrenched from the dark embrace of the stone wall, he turned, only to meet with Indiana Jones's fist coming from the other direction. Pony's head cracked back as the aura of magic around his necklace winked out.
You're not going anywhere.
Indy snarled, swinging again and aiming for the unicorn's ruined ear. Grunting and rolling with the faint falling blows, Silverchild lost step with his rear hooves. The human yelped and went down as the pony sharp double kicked, knocked his legs out from under him. Dropping on top of the unicorn, Indy grabbed the creature's head and started slamming it repeatedly to the floor. Child gasped and angry, with its teeth rattling impact. Get off! Get off! Silverchild's horn flared, and a light almost blinding Indy. A silver cloud snapped over the struggling archaeologist and jerked him up, trying to pull him away from his opponent. With a growl, Indiana wrapped his fingers around both hands into the trowel's dirt-smeared white mane, dragging the creature into the air with him. Unicorn panted and strained, but finally gave up. The magical field winked out, and the two combatants collapsed to the floor again. Indiana Jones rose, fist cocked to deliver a jaw-crushing blow. A rock slammed to the side of his head like a silver-tailed meteor. Dazed, the human found himself prone on the floor. He pushed himself up just in time to catch a hoof to the side of the face. Indy's teeth clacked together, and he grunted again. I have had just about enough of you! Hissed Silverchild, his eyes blazing with arcane energy as he battered his foe with rock after a magically thrown rock. Indiana curled up, shivering his head as the stones crashed against his brute flesh. For a moment, the rain of missiles stopped as the two archaeologists gasped for breath. Silverchild spit out blood and ran his tongue over a painfully loosened tooth. He was winning against the human, but only just. Beating Indiana to death was an attractive option, but with the Diamond Dog out of commission and the only way out blocked, the creature was good as dead anyway. It was time to go. But this has been very fun. Once again, I take my leave, Dr. Jones. The unicorn wheezed. The dull stone around his neck began to glimmer once again, and he turned towards the wall. He glanced back. Indiana was still curled protectively, so expecting another barrage. Silverchild chuckled to himself and stepped into the wall. Indy's iron-hard grip snatched the unicorn's tail. The human dragged Silverchild back slightly. Trowel rolled his eyes, but then Indiana wrenched the saddlebags from the pony's bag. Oh! Trowel hissed. That is not acceptable! When Silverchild wheeled back and dove out of the rock, who was pawing in the air, Indiana was raring. One hand snatched the unicorn's bar chest, cutting short his charge. The other seized Trowel's throat as Indy surged to his feet, dragging the pony onto his hind legs. With Silverchild off balance, Indiana shoved him backwards. Stone rippled like wire as Trowel's head passed through it. The unicorn's flinty hose swung blindly at Indy's face as the human grabbed a shimmering necklace around the pony's neck and pulled. In the darkness of the rock, Trowel's eyes opened in horror as he felt the mountain solidify around him. If it were possible, he would have screamed. Instead, he could feel the cold, unyielding weight of stone in his mouth, throat, and nostrils. Indy pulled his hands out of the wall, panting with exertion. The necklace in his grip shone for but a moment more and went out. Silverchild's dark green hose and lower body jutted out of the wall like some grotesque decoration. Unicorn's limbs flailed in panic, chest heaved ineffectually. The pony's frantic efforts slowed, and finally stopped entirely as the creature suffocated. Stomach rolling into sight of the partially tuned unicorn, Indy turned away and leaned heavily against the rock wall that was now Silverchild's grave. His breath came in wheezy gasps as he tried to draw life from the stuffy air. With slow, deliberate movements, the archaeologist rewound his whip and hung it on his belt. Claws clicked instantly on the stone floor. The archaeologist turned to look to see Flint. Finally freeing his bonds, the diamond dog lumbered over to Indiana. Pain in his emerald eyes, the blood still streaming from the wound on his wounded shoulder. What now, Indiana? Feel funny. Indy looked at the rubble covering the doorway of the sanctuary. He didn't get that thing cleared out now. He was going to die from lack of air. The train was pointing and towed to the rock behind him, simply got a head start. We have to get out of here before we run out of air, Flint. Huh? The diamond dog was swaying slightly, head drooping. His foot looked up again. His legs gave out and he tumbled to the floor. Blood from his shoulder dripped into a crimson puddle at Indiana's feet. Swearing, the archaeologist knelt down and tore a strip out of his shirt, wrapping the wound as best as he could. The blood flow slowed a bit, but did not stop. Indy slapped the diamond dog's muzzle a few times. Hey! Stay awake, Flint! Don't go to sleep on me, you amazing mutt. Flint, Not much, the Diamond Dog muttered, trying to push himself to his paws. Finding ever too strenuous, he whined in pain and was settled back to the floor. Grinding his teeth, Indiana lifted a rubble pile and started clawing at it, tugging down a few stones in a few at a time, in a futile effort to cut a hole. Every stone removed simply resulted in more rubble failing to fill the gap. Hey, Indiana! Darren called, pushing open the door to reveal a secret passage in the wall. Indiana ignored the voice and kept digging. He had to get some fresh air in here. He was already hearing things. Jones! Darren tried again. When that failed too, the Pegasus' headache-inducing double memories came to the rescue. Hey! Junior! Indiana wheeled and glaring.
Don't call me you! Jesus Christ, Darren!
That's me! Darren agreed, ear to ear. So, now what? Now that we're both here. Covering out the pile of rubble, Indiana ripped through several trousers and discarded saddlebags. His empty revolver went back to his holster. He held up the Medallion of Shadow triumphantly.
I think I've got it, Darren. The way to get us back to where we belong.
You want to destroy the medallions at the pedestal, like when we started this whole adventure? Darren suggested, fishing out her half of the artifact from under a pith helmet. Indiana? Who Indiana talking to? Mumbled Flint, struggling to see his position. Darren spared the Diamond Dog a glance, and raised one eyebrow inquiringly. Flint? What's he doing here?
You hired him on, and I did the same.
Indiana said, giving Flint a comforting pat on the Diamond Dog's bandaged shoulder.
I had my doubts at first, but the mud here did a pretty good job.
I did what now? Asked Darren, blinking in puzzlement. Dr. Jones's hands paused mid-pat, expressing settle.
You didn't hire her to keep you informed what was going on at the inn?
No! I tried, but I gave up. He said someone's above a box of rocks. Darren exclaimed, isn't he? Indy chuckled.
Apparently not. Just give him some alcohol help if this works. He's been shot and he's still losing blood.
Sure, Darren said with a nod. Head still tilted in confusion. Flint blinked as Indiana pushed a few more of the heavy golden coins to his paw.
Here, you earned this. Darren D will get you some help.
Indiana, leaving? And Flint's ears drooped as he regarded the archaeologist sadly.
Hopefully. See you around, kid.
Indiana Jones followed Darren due to the raised dais.
Anything I should know about what's going on over there?
Indy asked the Pegasus. Brooks was working for Jägermeister. Both are dead now. That's about it over here. Darren commented. What about over there?
Most of the cultists are dead, I think. And Silver Trowel is working for Ahuizotl.
Indy replied. Darren's eyes flicked to the dangling corpse, so quickly turned back to Indiana Jones, somehow looking a bit green despite her golden pelt. Ugh. Alright then, let's do this. Human and Pegasus pony approached the pedestal from both sides, holding out their halves of the artifact. The room seemed to swirl and writhe as the two approached one another. Finally, they pressed the medallion halves together. For Indy and Darren alike, the world exploded in a flash of brilliant white. Squinting effectively against the searing glow, Indiana nodded to Darren Dew. She grinned and winked in acknowledgement. There was a sudden sensation of movement, but this time the two were being pulled apart. Each watched the other recede in the distance. There was another brilliant flash of light, then nothingness. What? No thumbs up for the two of them? I are disappointed.